you, Mike. We love Mike. But in particular,
Mike. Hey, Mike. What day is it?
Michigan was better off with Trump by a lot. You were doing great.
Thank you, DJ. Appreciate you for the 5 gifted, my man. What is that a picture of? Is that your dishes? is that a picture of your dishes?
Companies were moving back, and the car companies weren't moving out, and you were...
Yeah, car companies weren't moving out, but unfortunately Harley Davidson was.
Weren't under a mandate to build all electric cars, which are going to all be made in China. It's just a question of a few years.
And it's amazing. You still aren't under any sort of mandate to buy or build any amount of electric vehicles as a private citizen right now in the United States. Why he continues to
By the way, even Europe is putting goddamn tariffs on Chinese cars.
Me.
Going to the
For decades
EU.
before I took office, Joe Biden and his cronies in Washington got rich by selling off Michigan jobs and selling out Detroit. That's what they did. That's why your car business is so far down.
Yeah, had nothing to do with the years of despair before that. It all started in 2020.
You used to have 100% of the car
Did he see Detroit in 90?
business. Now you're down to probably 30% by comparison.
And that's just not a made-up random number that just popped into his head fucking 0.7 seconds ago at all.
To what it was. Crooked Joe backed NAFTA, the worst trade deal we ever had. China's entry into the World Trade Organization, another disaster. The Trans-Pacific Partnership, he wanted that so badly, would have totally destroyed the state. The Paris Climate.
Why would the TPP destroy Michigan?
Accord where we put up $1 trillion and nobody else puts up anything. One of the most unfair deals. Sounds good.
It's so unfair. What is something you hear every strong man say, typically once or at least twice a week. In my case, you like to come out with that's not fair. It's very unfair. You got to get that out at least twice a week as an alpha. You know what I mean? You're not an actual alpha until you hit him with it's not fair.
Good, but it was a disaster. And every other globalist disaster that sucked the life and wealth and...
Hey, watch it. There's kids in the audience. You glossy son of a bitch. Get the guy a towel.
Blood out of our country, and that's what it was doing. But after the life and wealth and blood out of our country, and that's what it...
The life and wealth and blood out of our country.
Fair deals. Sounds good, but it was a disaster. And every other globalist disaster that sucked the life and wealth and blood out of our country, and that's what it was doing. But after decades of Joe Biden putting America last, Michigan finally got a president who put America first. That's what happened. That's what happened.
That's what happened, right? When does he pull this out?
Magnets is this. Give me a glass out of our country, and then drop it on the magnets. That's the end of the magnets. Putting America last, Michigan finally got...
I want to hear it. Come on.
I met a lot of people backstage just now, and they're all saying, sir, we were doing so much better 4 years ago. Everybody.
We were. Not one of it's true, and they're all going to say it to my face, but they don't believe it for 1 second behind the scenes, considering they remember what the fuck was actually going on 4 years ago, you stupid piece of shit. Oh, where was I 4 years ago? Let's see. I fought my neighbor. She was a 93-year-old lady. I had to tackle her in the fucking Stop and Shop for the last roll of toilet paper that I ended up paying $77 for. Sorry, Martha. But where else was I? Yeah, I had about 4 seconds I could be outside at a time. Let's see. There was no sports on television, so I was betting on fucking Russian ping pong. Yeah, things were fucking delightful 4 years ago. You absolute fucking pillock. Good God. You have to be just smelling the own shit coming out of your ass to believe any of that. That is just fucking disgraceful.
It was. I stood up to the globalists. I stood up to the outsourcers, corporate lobbyists, and special interests.
What?
That's
Did
what
his,
they don't
wait a minute. I'm sorry. Did his teeth just come out of his head for a second there? Outsourcers. Sure. He turned into Walter Matthau for a second.
better 4 years ago. Everybody was.
Hold on. Let me turn it up. Ox, nag. We're going down to catch some fish down there at the lake.
I stood up to the globalists. I stood up to the outsourcers, corporate.
Outsourcers. How do you spell that exactly? Can you run that by me just one more time, sir?
I stood up to the globalists. I stood up to the outsourcers, corporate lobbyists, and special interests. That's why they don't exactly
I love it.
love me, these people. And I live by the motto, promises made, promises kept.
Yes, yes, which is why your healthcare plan is 2 weeks away. Oh, boy. Oh, man. The guy is a fucking roving buffoon, and it's amazing how dangerous one dumbass motherfucking person can be.
I kept all my promises, kept them all. In my first week in office, I terminated TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership. Would have destroyed your state, would have really destroyed trade in our
Which you were rewarded heavily by China for.
country. And I withdrew from the Paris Accord. It was unfair, a disaster. And I ended NAFTA, worst trade deal, and replaced it with the brand new USMCA. That's Mexico, Canada.
And it's better because it says U.S., which also spells us, coincidentally. Didn't know that, I bet. Asked that question to a guy because my uncle, MIT, which means technically I graduated from MIT myself. So I says to the guy,